Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Media Pulse, the show where we help you make sense of Thai politics.
Clare, today we have to start with the ongoing conflicts between Thailand and Cambodia. As we know, have escalated into battles along their common border. And because of its size and firepower, the Thai military have proven to have the upper hand over Cambodia in the skirmishes across the border. And many people believe that that was the primary reason why Cambodia was quick to agree to a ceasefire. But on the diplomatic and messaging front, there is a totally different story because it looks like Cambodia is far ahead. And that seems to be the general consensus among the Thai media, academics, and even former diplomats ever since the conflicts broke out before erupting into 5 days of fierce fighting.
In their eyes, I think Cambodia has appeared more agile, assertive, and media savvy even, and Thailand has always been one step behind. Cambodia, they believe, has been successful in pushing narratives that Cambodia is the victim and Thailand is the aggressor. And this is the messaging that Cambodia has been selling to international organizations and foreign dignitaries at all levels. Thailand has been left scrambling to counter all these narratives, in many cases maybe too little too late as well. Even the visits to the affected border areas arranged for the Bangkok-based military attachés and foreign journalists on Friday was seen by some critics as something following in the footsteps of Cambodia, which made a similar arrangement on the other side, on their side of the border, for foreign envoys in Phnom Penh.
One Thai international affairs expert has pointed out that Cambodia is obviously having the so-called first mover advantage in shaping the initial messaging about its conflicts with Thailand. And one of the most notable moves made by Cambodia was its swift diplomatic maneuvering to convince the United Nations Security Council to convene an emergency meeting on the border violence. It was an international stage that gave Phnom Penh, Cambodia, the opportunity to frame the narrative as one of aggression by a more powerful neighbor, that is Thailand.
And even earlier, it even managed to internationalize the issue of the disputed border area with Thailand by bringing it to the International Court of Justice, or the World Court, despite Thailand's objection. And in the process, it has succeeded in painting Thailand in a negative light for not accepting the jurisdiction of the World Court. Now, the Cambodian strongman Hun Sen wasted no time in seizing the opportunity to accuse Thailand of ignoring international laws. One of his most quoted narrative is, "Only thieves fear going to court."
And we don't need to say much about what he means by thieves, right? And we certainly understand what country he was referring to, right? Now, talking about Hun Sen, it's undeniable that the former Cambodian Prime Minister has been the driving force in the country's PR offensive. He has been taking a hyper approach with his near daily public statements, Facebook posts to push anti-Thai narratives. And Thailand, in contrast, has appeared more reactive than proactive. Not that the country lacks the tools to communicate, but it seems to lack a communication strategy and a cohesive approach.
It's only natural, isn't it? Because something happens, then we react to it. But on the Cambodian side, it seems like they are prepared.
That's right.
At least more prepared, right?
Okay.
There's a commentary in The Diplomat, which is a well-known international online news magazine. It noticed that Cambodia's aggressive public relations, quote, makes the conflict more visible and urgent in global forums, while Thailand's reluctance to frame its side with similar intensity results in muted international sympathy.
No, even a former senior Thai diplomat, Kunpisan Manavapat, admitted that Thailand's responses to Cambodia's narratives have been too slow and too soft. The former Thai ambassador to Washington, D.C. told Thai PBS World that Thailand needs to be more forceful in responding to the messaging from Phnom Penh. And more often than not, Clare, Cambodia, through its various official spokespersons and state-controlled media outlets, has not been hesitant in spreading what are obviously falsehoods. And during the recent skirmishes, the spokesperson of its defense ministry accused Thai military of using chemical weapons and cluster bombs against Cambodian targets.
Yeah, she even accompanied the accusation with a picture that purported to show a Thai aircraft spraying what looked like chemical substance over an area in Cambodia. However, that picture turned out to be from a firefighting operation in California early this year. So by the time Thailand refuted the claims, they have already made headlines around the world.
And this is interesting. Even General Nattapon Nakpanit, the Deputy Defense Minister, has admitted that he is puzzled by Cambodia's ability to manipulate messaging aimed at Thailand. And this is what he said: "I feel frustrated to see that whatever Cambodia says always create uproar among Thai people. It looks like Cambodia has been successful with its information operation in making Thai people turn against each other."
There are still shortcomings in Thailand's messaging over its conflicts with Cambodia, and that was also tacitly acknowledged by the acting Prime Minister Phumtham Wechayachai himself. Speaking to reporters, Phumtham actually admitted that there needs to be an improvement in how authorities concerned should communicate. However, Foreign Minister Marit Singyampong seems to have a different take on the issue because he said, this is speaking at a press conference, he said that Thailand's standing on the world stage vis-a-vis Cambodia is rather high under the present circumstances.
Now, while Cambodia's messaging is often characterized by falsehoods and distortions, the Foreign Minister emphasized that there is no need to match Cambodia in terms of speed or volume when communicating about the ongoing conflicts. Marit stated that Thailand's approach has been to respond with facts and in a measured and proportionate manner. Now, for one thing, the press conference by the Foreign Minister this week was much welcomed by many people who had wanted him to be more visible and more forceful in responding to Cambodia's propaganda.
Yeah.
Now, in fact, for a while, the Foreign Minister himself was almost out of the picture as the conflicts between Thailand and Cambodia escalated into armed clashes. Yeah. And one well-known political commentator even jokingly said in an interview that Foreign Minister Marit should be declared a missing person because he was nowhere to be seen when the country needed him the most, to represent the country in responding to accusations and propaganda from the other side.
Exactly, because we've been seeing the spokesperson of the foreign ministry even more often than the foreign minister himself. But anyway, even as the border dispute between Thailand and Cambodia was escalating into armed clashes, our Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, who is now suspended, was still in damage control mode over her phone conversation with Cambodian strongman Hun Sen. For weeks now, she has been hounded by questions over her political future as a result of the disastrous phone call. Critics have also doubled down on her with charges that she and her father, former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, were the root cause of the ongoing conflict between the two countries.
Now, as we all know too well, the two ruling families of Thailand and Cambodia, the Shinawatra and the Hun families, were especially close, at least for a long while.
Yeah.
Hun Sen provided Thaksin and his supporters with refuge when they fled the country following the military coup d'etat in 2006. Hun Sen later even made Thaksin his economic advisor and referred to the former Thai leader as "my brother." Prime Minister Paetongtarn, meanwhile, regards Hun Sen as her uncle and was given red carpet welcome when she visited Cambodia in April this year.
But everything between the two families fell apart after an armed clash between the armed forces of the two countries in a disputed border area in northeastern province of Ubon Ratchathani in late May. Now, the incident eventually snowballed into intense fighting between the two countries before a ceasefire agreement was reached last Monday. But up to today, one question remains unanswered. That is, what actually started the conflict that led to the fighting that raged on for 5 days and claimed dozens of lives on both sides. Many have been quick to point their fingers at the two families.
And for the first time, Paetongtarn tried to address the issue in her own words while talking to a group of journalists recently.
Yeah.
By the way, she was speaking in her capacity as culture minister, not as prime minister.
Yeah, because she's suspended for now for the
That's right.
telephone call.
Because she is no longer allowed to perform her duty as prime minister by the Constitutional Court, which is deliberating charges of serious breaches of ethics against her in connection with her phone call with Hun Sen. And this is what she said. It has nothing to do with conflicts between the two families. Paetongtarn said she believes that Hun Sen was angry with her because he felt left out from a recent agreement her government had made with Myanmar and Laos to crack down on scam call centers.
Yeah, she explained that her government had in fact intended to approach Cambodia later, but by that time, Hun Sen must have felt offended already. So she claimed that a subsequent offer for Cambodia to join the agreement was rejected by Hun Sen. And to the press, she said, "I think that was the reason why Hun Sen is angry with me."
Paetongtarn did not say why Cambodia wasn't invited to join the effort from the start, despite general knowledge that the country was a sanctuary for large numbers of call scammers. Her father Thaksin had earlier even threatened to target some buildings in Cambodia, which he claimed were housing call scam centers. And Hun Sen did not hide his anger over such threat by Thaksin. The former Cambodian Prime Minister hit back by claiming that Thailand was covering up the fact that it was itself home to large-scale call scam centers and was trying to shift the blame onto Cambodia.
Paetongtarn's attempts at damage control by playing down conflicts between her family and that of the Cambodian strongman might have come too late though, because her latest narrative was quickly brushed aside by many people who believe that her family primarily contributed to the conflicts between the two countries. And here's a quote: "The country is bearing the brunt of the conflict between the two families, and that has become a very common narrative on social media now."
No, but whatever her critics say, political analysts believe that blaming Hun Sen for what is happening between Thailand and Cambodia is likely to be one of Paetongtarn's defense lines before the Constitutional Court. Though the critics said Paetongtarn will try to portray herself as the leader, doing everything to protect the interests of the country, and that she was the victim of a scheme concocted by Hun Sen to discredit her and divide the country.
But her supporters have already been promoting the narrative that penalizing Paetongtarn would amount to playing into Hun Sen's hand. Now, this is very interesting. And by the way, the Constitutional Court has granted her additional time to submit her defense. The new deadline is now August 4th, which is coming Monday.
And we have to say that the ruling by the Constitutional Court will be one thing, but the verdict from the Court of Public Opinion is already clear.
Speaking of court cases, 2 weeks ago we talked about Thaksin's Judgment Day on this show, right? That is called Judgment Day 1.0 because it has to do with a legal proceeding from an interview that he gave on South Korea TV in 2015, and it landed him a lèse-majesté charge where the verdict would be delivered on August 22nd. Now, that is not the only court case. He is awaiting a verdict. Because today we're going to talk about Judgment Day 2.0. Okay. This is the second legal hurdle for Thaksin Shinawatra.
This case has to do with the legal implications of Thaksin's stay at the 14th floor of the police hospital from August 2023 to February 2024. If we were to follow the initial Supreme Court verdict before his return from exile, Thaksin was found guilty on 3 corruption charges and was sentenced to 8 years in prison. That means as soon as he landed on August 22nd, 2023, he was supposed to be taken into custody, then served out his sentence in a correctional facility.
Yeah, but however,
that did not happen.
No, it didn't happen. Should have happened, but didn't happen. So it is a well-reported fact that Thaksin arrived back in Thailand on August 22nd, 2023, after spending 15 years in self-exile overseas. Then just after midnight on the next day, he was sent from Bangkok Remand Prison to the Police General Hospital after claiming that he had a serious illness. Now, he ended up spending a total of just over 6 months at the hospital before getting his sentence commuted to 1 year, and then he received a parole and returned home instead of serving his prison sentence behind bars. So all in all, from 8 years to not a single day in prison.
To be clear, we are not talking about the sentence commutation and parole. We are discussing the 6 months in the hospital. The questions were brought up by Chanchai Isara Senarak, a former MP of the Democrat Party, who petitioned the court to rule whether or not Thaksin's time spent in the VIP suite on floor 14 of the police hospital can substitute for time spent in a prison cell, and whether or not the decision to send him to the hospital was justified, or was he just faking his illnesses?
Well, this past week, the last defense witness testified in court, and it was none other than Dr. Wisanu Kruangam, also known as aka Mr. Legal Service, whose relationship with Thaksin spans decade. Wisanu actually served as a civil servant in the government house as the Secretary General to the Cabinet before he actually joined Thaksin's government as Deputy Prime Minister in 2002. It is important to note that he also served as the Deputy Prime Minister under Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha. And then, at the time when Thaksin was sent to prison on August 22nd, 2023, Wisanu was acting Justice Minister. So his past work highlights the fact that he is a man of all seasons.
Do you know why Thaksin Wisanu is called Mr. Legal Service?
Because he's been giving a lot of legal advices.
Right, because in the eyes of the media, he's a man of all seasons. He is willing to serve all types of governments, dictatorship,
he works with everyone,
elected
right?
governments, and he has no qualms about doing that.
They
providing his legal service to these, whoever is in power.
They said he wrote the Constitution, like he seems to be able to write the whole Constitution overnight, right? Him and his friends.
Okay. So now let's take a look at what kind of statement that Kun Wisanu gave to the court.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Number one, he reportedly told the court that he met the Director General of the Corrections Department, the Warden of the prison, the National Police Chief to discuss Thaksin's escort when he arrived back in Thailand, meaning that when Thaksin returned to Thailand, right?
Yeah, he also said that he did inspect the prison cell where many well-known inmates were held there before, for example, Sonti Lim Thongkun. And he also said that Thaksin should be held in a special section because he was a former prime minister, and Thaksin may be harmed if he was held in a common area as other inmates. And Kun Wisanu also said that Thaksin requires medical treatment. And fourthly, he also said that he was unaware that Thaksin sought a royal commutation on the first day back.
But whether or not this information provided by Kun Wisanu will help Thaksin's defense, we will certainly find out on Judgment Day 2.0. And hopefully there will be some clarification as to whether or not Thaksin was then really sick enough to be hospitalized during that time. If not, who will have to bear the consequences of helping a convict avoid prison term.
Yeah.
And also, if his time at the police hospital cannot substitute for time behind bars, would it mean that he has to go back to prison to make up for that?
Well, the verdict on Judgment Day 2.0 is set for September 9th by the Supreme Court's Criminal Division for political office holders. Now, the court has ordered Thaksin Shinawatra and the warden of the Bangkok Remand Prison to be present on the day as well. So there's a lot of speculation going on about why the warden was ordered to be there. Some say that it's just a legal proceeding which involves him. And some view it as a sign that Thaksin might be sent back to prison. So we'll find out on the day.
Okay,
hopefully.
all right. So it's a countdown to Judgment Day now, right?
Yeah,
It has
1.0,
been,
2.0.
The issue has been haunting Thaksin and the country for almost 2 years.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's about time that it will close.
Yeah, but next week we'll still be following the Thai-Cambodian issue at the GBC meeting in KL as well.
All right.
Well,
Okay.
we'll be sure to bring it to you. Thank you so much for watching today. We'll see you in the next one.
Okay,
Goodbye.
see you then.